After 10 years of being a marriage and family therapist, I get so many questions and different scenarios about dating and relationships. I've compiled a list of different patterns and questions that I've seen over the years, and I'd love to give you my answers to them. So remember, this is not therapy. This is just broad general advice for all of you watching. But I figured if some of these clients are having similar patterns, there are so many more people that are going through the same thing. So I hope that this can help you. If this is resonating, please like, share, and subscribe. That really helps out my channel a lot. General reminder. You are the expert on your own life. I do not even claim to be an expert in relationships, even though I've been studying them for the last 10 years. I've literally had relationships since I was born. They are still quite a mystery to me, and they're so complex. So just remember, take what you need and leave the rest. Question number 1. Okay, so I met this guy and we have really great chemistry and we've had the best time when we're together. But sometimes I can't get a hold of him for days. When we finally hang out again, he acts like nothing happened, but it makes me feel uneasy that we go through bouts of time with no contact. Should I be concerned? Okay. So this is interesting. So I think that there's so many things that we obviously don't know, right? But with this information, it just sounds like he's kind of ghosting you for a little while and then like coming back when it's convenient. That could be a potential red flag, especially if you are like feeling like something is off or you're kind of questioning, should I be concerned about this? There's probably some room for concern there. So I would say above all be all, trust yourself. If you're having a gut feeling like, ugh, something doesn't feel right, then it probably is true. Also, if you're trying to talk to this person about, how you feel in terms of like him not contacting you for days and feeling like that uneasy feeling, try to talk to him. If he is not feeling receptive or open to your feelings about the pattern that keeps happening, that is a lot of information for you, right? That also like brings up concerns about integrity and honesty and transparency. And if those are the things that you value in a relationship and that person is not able to meet you with that, lots of information, right? That's what I tell all of my clients. It's like up for you to decide what you want to do with that information, but you get to make a choice given that info. Okay, the second question that I receive pretty often is, after years of being in toxic and unhealthy relationships, I think I finally found a healthy partnership, but I'm terrified. How do I not mess this up? So I went through this myself actually too. So I really resonate with this question. And I think that, once you've done like a lot of work on yourself and healing and just you're done with the toxicity. Like maybe you've had a past of like drama, abuse, trauma, whatever that is, and you're just like, you've done work and you're like, I can't do that anymore, and you really start taking action, then you level up in life and you start attracting a really different type of person into your world. You start attracting people that are more honest, that have integrity, that have similar values to you. Like all of those old games that you were playing are just gone. However, you're in a new game, and just because you attract a healthy partnership doesn't mean it's all like sunshine and rainbows. Obviously, like that comes with difficulties and challenges too, which I was not prepared for. Like, I'll just speak for myself when I attracted my wife, because number one, I've never seen a healthy relationship model growing up. I did not have the blueprint for that. Of course, I went to school to study marriage and family therapy, so I had somewhat of an idea of what healthy partnership looked like. But I also was seeing so many couples in my office displaying all of these like really unhealthy traits. So I was kind of like, feel like walking around in the dark just trying to like find my way, and you might feel like that too, but it's totally okay. So just number one, like know that you will be triggered in your healthy relationship, and that is okay. That's normal, and that's also just the universe giving you more opportunities to strengthen yourself and your bond. So, another thing to note here too is that if you have been sort of addicted or very used to trauma, chaos, all of that, your nervous system might be freaking out a little bit because that's not in front of you currently. And so our nervous system doesn't necessarily go to what we want. It goes back to the familiar. So you're going to have to consciously and maybe do some subconscious rewiring to get used to the familiar of being in a healthy relationship. I remember when my wife and I first sort of started dating, and like you kind of get out of that honeymoon phase and then things start to become more of like routine, and we both kind of thought like, uh-oh, like what's going on? What is there something wrong? You're gonna have parts that tend to like maybe look for a problem per se, but there's no problem. Like healthy relationships can oftentimes look boring too, to the nervous system that is so used to all of the drama and chaos, because that's not there anymore. So just know all of that is normal. You're not going to mess it up unless you like intentionally try to like go backwards and like self-sabotage or something. So question number 3, and this is a good one. This is a good one for all of you that have had experiences with narcissists out there, which I know that there's a lot. Okay, so I was in a verbally abusive relationship for years with a narcissist. I feel like it's hard to trust myself as I get back out into the dating pool. I also feel like I'm being disloyal to my ex as I talk to new people. Does that mean I'm not ready to date again? If you've been in an abusive relationship or been with a narcissist or even had like a narcissist as a parent, different, experiences like that will sort of disrupt that connection that we have to ourselves and to our own intuition. I remember when I got into a really abusive relationship with a narcissist, and I, like looking back, I can see I had so many like intuitive hits and gut feelings and different red flags that I just chose to ignore. And the more that you do that over time, the more distance that you create within yourself, and you sort of abandon yourself in that sense. So after going through something like that, of course, it's going to take some time to rebuild the trust that you have to yourself and to your own like ability to know what's good for you and what's not. Also, like manipulation in past relationships will totally distort like your sense of self and your confidence in like trusting yourself, plain and simple. Just like basic choices too. Like I remember it was so hard for me to like remember, or to not remember. It was really hard for me to decide what I wanted to eat, what color I wanted to like decorate my office with, because I just remember, from my last relationship, that person was really running the show. I mean, hello, it's a narcissist. It's all about them. So I was so disconnected from myself, but now it's like a world of difference. So just trust that like time and continuing to make decisions for yourself will naturally strengthen that connection. So I'm going to say something that might be somewhat of an unpopular opinion. However, I believe that you can be grieving your last relationship and also be dating at the same time. You don't have to be fully grieved and fully healed before you move on to dating around. I mean, can you ever really? I don't know. But anyways, I think that two things can exist at the same time. Obviously, if you're like crying every day and like really heartbroken about it, you probably want to give yourself some time. But like I said, you're the expert on your own life, and nothing is going to feel 100% certain. So when you take a leap of faith, when you go into something new, like jumping back out into the dating pool, you're not going to feel 100% ready for it. That's why it's called a leap of faith. So just trust that you're going to be divinely guided, and start trusting yourself more and start asking yourself for different cues and different signs. And you're not going to be perfect. It's okay. You can begin to practice that relationship with self. Question number 4. I'm in my mid-20s and I'm dating in a big city. Even though there is no shortage of people to date, I feel like every person I meet is just not the right fit. I really want to be in a relationship. Am I destined to be alone forever? Yes. Yes, you are destined No. I feel like every person asks this when you've been single for a little while, or when you just get out of a relationship. You're like, oh, I'm okay, I'm gonna be alone forever. And if that's your choice, hey, that's cool. But a lot of us do want to be in some sort of relationship or partnership. So just trust that, like, that will come in divine timing. Also, this reminds me of a scenario that I talked about in my advice for women in their 20s video. So I'm going to link that down below. I think that that would be a really great resource for you if you're resonating with this question as well. So this is really interesting because if you're really hooked on, okay, I really want a relationship, this is something that I want and I yearn for so badly, we're going to get into a little bit of manifestation right now. That attachment to the relationship that you so badly desire is creating resistance because it's telling the universe, I want this so badly. The wanting of it tells the universe, I'm lacking in this. So you're kind of just like reinforcing that the more and more that you want it. And this is another thing that you might be able to kind of identify with. So have you ever like maybe been with someone or really wanted something, and then you feel like the more that you try to like pull into them, they push away from you? It's that classic pursuer distancer sort of dynamic. Think about it in terms of that. So I'm not telling you, okay, don't want the relationship anymore, because that's probably not going to happen. However, kind of shift your feelings and maybe focus around it. So instead of really dwelling on, oh, I really want this relationship, I don't have it, I'm not finding anyone that resonates, it's, okay, I'm going to cultivate this beautiful relationship with myself and maybe with my friends and the people around me, and begin to start like treating yourself like you want your partner, your future dream partner, to treat you. So buy yourself the flowers, get yourself a gift, order yourself takeout after a day, a really, really hard day at work. Comfort yourself, talk to yourself like you want your partner to talk to you. Hug yourself, have these intimate moments with yourself. That in and of itself, I know maybe sounds a little silly and it might feel really uncomfortable to do it. However, that is going to get you in the frequency of having a healthy relationship, because you're already cultivating that within yourself and the people around you. Naturally, that's going to magnetize that sort of relationship to you. So thank you so much if you've made it this far in the video. If you have like certain questions or whatever that maybe you're dealing with, leave it in the comments below. I would love to address some listener questions. This is like my favorite type of video to do. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps out my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.